What's going on, YouTube world? Austin Zaback here with another YouTube video, and if you can't already tell, we are live in this video right here, right now. I think it's like October 17th. So if you're watching this on replay, then this was a live video, and if I mess up or anything like that, it's because it's live, it's not edited, but sometimes those are the best videos. And in this video, you're definitely going to want to stay tuned if you're a wholesaler. Primarily, this video is for you, right? Because we're going to be talking about Bandit Signs, right? How to get wholesale deals with Bandit Signs if you saw the thumbnail. So definitely stay tuned. Let me make sure everything's working. And I'm just going to go ahead and make this a little bit bigger so you can see me all together here. Okay. 1 second. All right, guys. So if you're watching this live, you can go ahead and chat with me here. And I'll chat with you guys too. But let's talk about Bandit Signs, okay? Why it's a good form of marketing, potentially, depending on the market that you're in. Okay, in some markets, Bandit Signs aren't going to work as good as other markets. So I want to start off by saying that, right? There's markets where, maybe it's saturated. Maybe there's a lot of Bandit Signs, on the sides of the roads and stuff like that. And in that scenario, you're going to have to decide if Bandit Signs are going to work for you or not, and if it's a type of marketing you want to do in your wholesaling business or not. So that's a decision you're going to have to make. One thing that I will add to that, though, is that if Bandit Signs are something that you decide to do, okay, if you decide that this is going to be one of the ways that you want to market your wholesaling business, you are going to want to make sure you stay consistent, okay? Consistency beats everything. A lot of people always ask me, and they ask a lot of my colleagues that do a lot of wholesaling, and they say, what do you do? Like, what's your number one form of marketing? Number one form of marketing at the end of the day is actually just consistency, right? It's not necessarily Bandit Signs, it's not necessarily direct mail, door knocking, cold calling, or the other 50 forms of marketing or whatever that there are out there. Really, the answer is just consistency. So make sure you stay super consistent in whatever you decide to do. That said, if you do Bandit Signs, obviously stay consistent. Part number 2 to that is, I'm just going to kind of give you, I guess, some tips and tricks on how to do Bandit Signs. How to do it cheap, how to do, essentially have low cost, marketing when it comes to Bandit Signs, maybe how to outsource this, how to do it by yourself in the beginning, some different tips and tricks on like materials and stuff you can use, what to say, all that good stuff. So definitely take notes if you're watching this video. This is super important. This took me a long time to learn how to do this properly. So number 1, I would go get your corrugated plastic, okay? So you're going to have like corrugated plastic, I don't know, maybe like 18 by 24, okay? And, a lot of people, they want to order the Bandit Signs online pre-printed. Now, the downside to ordering your Bandit Signs online pre-printed is like 10 times more money, okay? Here's what I suggest you do instead. If you saw my thumbnail, that was actually written with those big Sharpies. If you're familiar with what I'm talking about, you go to like Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, Staples, Office Max, whatever, maybe even Amazon, okay? You can get those big fat Sharpies. Get like a red one, a blue one, a green one, and a black one, okay? I'd get like 4 different colors if I were you. Go get that big corrugated plastic. You can either go to like a print shop, okay, around you locally, or what I suggest you do is go online to one of the big corrugated plastic, essentially sellers, right? You can find the wholesalers if you Google it. I'm not going to give you any because there's a lot of good ones online. What I would do is I'd order the big ones, okay? So order the big ones, get as many as you want. I would get extra, okay? I would buy in bulk. That way you have these for a long period of time. Because remember, like we talked about a second ago, the goal here is consistency, okay? So I would get a big box of them, and here's what I would do if I were you. So ninja tip number 1 is I would cut them in half. You do not need to use the great big ones per sign. So I would cut them in half with a pair of scissors, okay? Now you just double your Bandit Signs instantly. So that's step number 1. Step number 2, I would not use those metal stakes that you can buy online, okay, or in person if you're going to buy them in person. Those are about twice as expensive as the wooden posts that you can either buy online, or what I would do is go to Home Depot or Lowe's and buy your wooden posts. Okay, they're about, I'd say about 18 inches long, right? And they're like the V-shaped wooden posts. You'll see it in my thumbnail if you look closely. And what you do is you go hammer the post into the ground first. Okay, so you're gonna pre-write at home all of your signs, and you're gonna write on them. We buy houses, or I pay cash for houses, or looking for investment deals, or sometimes maybe you're attracting buyers, okay, for Bandit Signs. I don't know what you're doing with your Bandit Signs. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, fix and flip, or fixer upper. $130,000, whatever it is that you're doing. You're gonna write. I would do like the top line in one color, the next line in another color, and then your phone number in another color. You're going to pre-write everything at home, and then you're going to go out, you're going to put all the materials in your car, and you're going to go out and you're going to hammer the wooden post into the ground. You're going to take your half-cut bandit sign, and you're going to staple it. Okay, so you're going to go to Home Depot or Lowe's or Amazon, and you're going to get one of those commercial staplers and a bunch of staples. So you hammer the post in, you take your corrugated plastic sign that already has writing on it, and you staple it right to the wooden post. Okay, so those are kind of just some beginners tips and tricks. Save you some money. The metal ones get all bent when you try to get them in the ground. The wooden ones go in way easier. It's way cheaper. And staples are extremely efficient, and cheap as well. So definitely some beginner tips and tricks there. Okay, another big tip and trick that I recommend you guys do is always be putting your bandit signs out Friday nights. Okay. Again, I'm gonna add a little disclaimer here. At the end of the day, just like doing a voicemail drop or some different forms of marketing like that, bandit signs, it's kind of frowned upon. Okay, I don't necessarily want to say it's illegal, but I'm not going to say it's not illegal. I'm not really sure. It depends on your market, your state, wherever you live. Do it at your own precaution, I guess you could say, right? With some forms of marketing like this, there's a risk, right? There's always going to be a risk. So take it with a grain of salt. I personally go out Friday nights because the city workers are off on the weekends. Okay, so if you go out on a Friday night, you bust these things right in the ground. For me personally, I found that I typically have about a 48-hour time period where the city workers are not going to go take those down. Okay, so Friday nights typically work really good for me. That's kind of just a little bonus tip. This video is just going to be a bunch of tips on bandit signs. Okay, so that's kind of another little tip for you. My next little tip for you guys, if you guys are taking notes, is to put enough of them out, but put enough of them out in the area that you're trying to target. Okay, so if you're looking at an intersection, you got to remember cars are driving that way, cars are driving that way. Cars are driving different ways, so you want to make sure that cars are seeing them in all different ways of that intersection. Okay, and not only are cars seeing them, but where are you placing the bandit signs? So cars see them primarily when they're stopped at the stoplight, so they have enough time to take your phone number down. Okay, put it in their phone, call you, whatever the case is. So how far away are your bandit signs from the stoplights or the intersections, or maybe where you're getting onto a freeway, or maybe you're getting off the exit ramp on the freeway? Whatever the case is, you want to actually strategically place these signs. Okay, maybe even 4 to 8, maybe even up to 10 signs in one intersection. So you hit all the cars in the different spots where you think they're going to be stopped. Okay, so it's something you want to definitely go figure out. Park your car in a parking lot, grab a handful of your signs, grab your stapler, throw it in your pocket, grab a handful of your wooden stakes. Make sure you got enough staples in your stapler, so when you walk 300 yards, you don't run out of staples, and go ahead and go, kind of strategically get those in the ground in that intersection, okay, wherever you're putting those. So that's kind of another little tip and trick. My next tip, guys, is it's a pretty big one, okay? It's kind of common sense, but if not, definitely you want to be doing this. Do not put your personal cell phone number on the bandit signs, okay? If the city workers call you, and you get in trouble for this, again, do it at your own risk, but you don't want your own personal number on your bandit signs, okay? So you're going to want to use like Google Voice. Okay, if you're taking notes, you can use Google Voice, a free, I guess, like phone number software that you can use that will, automatically ring to your actual phone number, where you can create a different phone number. You can use Better Voice, that's a good one. Or my favorite one actually is Call Rail, okay? Call Rail, CALLRAIL, okay? Call Rail. You can create different phone numbers. Now, the second part to the phone number trick is not only for the city workers calling you, but this way you're going to be able to track. Let's say you start doing different forms of marketing, right? Maybe you're doing cold calling, and you're dropping voicemails so people are calling you back, or whatever other forms of marketing you're doing. Your phone's ringing, right? Maybe you're doing some direct mail, you got some bandit signs, you got some door knockers, whatever the case is. You want to have different phone numbers for your different lead sources. That way when your phone rings, you can track, right, your KPIs, your key performance indicators. Who's calling you, right? You want to know, as soon as my phone rings, I want to look at my phone and be like, oh, it's a bandit sign call. I can answer that expecting that maybe somebody's driving down the road, or they saw my sign, they jotted down my phone number, whatever the case is, right? Depending on what I'm doing, and at the end of the month, I can track, okay, how do my bandit signs do, right? My bandit signs got me 39 calls. My call rate, or sorry, my VAs or whatever that were doing cold calling got me, a returned X amount of phone calls off my voicemail drops, or, my direct mail marketing campaign got me X amount of calls, whatever the case is. You want to know exactly what your KPIs are, because, in order to be able to build a successful wholesaling company, in the future, in the long run, you're going to want to know where your money is best spent, right? There's a lot of different ways that you can find wholesale deals, and you don't want to do every marketing source. Most wholesalers don't, right? Most wholesalers focus on, 1, 2, 3 things, 3 forms of marketing, and you're going to want to be able to kind of dial that in, right? Trim off the fat, as I would call it. You might start out with 4 or 5 different marketing sources, or work your way up there, but you don't want to be spending money where it shouldn't be being spent. So you're going to want to make sure this is something you keep track of, right? Another thing that you guys can do is you guys can eventually outsource somebody else putting up your Bandit signs, okay? There's some different apps that you can use. I want you to Google it. Bandit sign placement apps, okay, applications. Google that if this is something you ever want to do. There's a lot of trial and error I've spent here, and my goal for you is to cut down the learning curve. So for me, I know in the past I've spent a lot of money hiring people to go out at night on Friday nights to place all my Bandit signs. And I know for a fact that what I'll do is I'll go wake up bright and early Saturday morning, 5 o'clock in the morning kind of thing, before anybody's gone out, have the opportunity to go take down any of my signs, and I'll go out, and some of my Bandit signs won't be put up. And I know that because I tell them specific places I want my Bandit signs put up. I'll go actually count all of my signs, drive down every road, and the number will not match the number that I gave them, okay, the number of signs that I gave them. So, they got lazy. They went out Friday night. They didn't feel like putting them all up, whatever the case was, and they gypped me, okay? So number one thing I suggest you do, wake up Saturday morning, go count, make sure they're all put up. But what I would even do if I were you, if this is something you eventually want to outsource, is I would get one of these apps. There's some good apps out there that you can use, and you can actually drop where you want your Bandit signs placed. So you pick every single spot, up to however many you want. If you want to put 1,000 Bandit signs out, it's fine. You want to put 100, that's fine. 10, that's fine. Whatever the number is. But you actually get to drop a pin where you want all your signs placed, and they have to take a picture through the app, and you can actually go check through the app, number one, but then you obviously still want to go drive the next morning, number two, so you're going to kind of double check and make sure that everything looks good there. So that's kind of a little pro tip, I think, like number 5 or 6, and I'm just laying on you guys there. So definitely something you can do in the future. In the beginning, if I were you, I'd go out and do it yourself. A little sweat equity isn't going to hurt you. Go out there and you want to learn the lay of the land. You want to go out there, you want to know what it is that you're doing. You want to be able to tell your story in the future, and you want to be able to say that you were in the trenches, you worked hard, and you made it happen. So I definitely would suggest, doing it by yourself and not hiring somebody right off the bat. That's another thing. Probably kind of wrapping up this video is I'd say, you want to make sure you put enough out. So, beginning of the video, I talked about consistency, okay, in all forms of advertising. Or marketing for your wholesaling business. If you're watching this live, go back and watch the replay. This will obviously save as a normal YouTube video, but go back and watch where I talked about consistency. But also, don't be consistent with 10 signs. Okay, if you can't afford to put Bandit signs out, then you need to go door knock or do some other free forms of marketing in the beginning. The way that I talked about in the beginning, you can do Bandit signs fairly inexpensive, but on that same token, you want to put a decent number out, because you don't want to put 10 signs out. I mean, it's not going to be worth it, right? Maybe. I mean, you might get lucky, get a call, sell a deal. I mean, I've seen it done before. I've seen a lot of people get lucky in the business. But, I'd say you want to get 50 or 100 signs out, at a bare minimum when you go out and you do this. So, definitely take that with a grain of salt as well. Kind of pro tip as I kind of end this video is don't underestimate the power of Bandit signs. And what I mean by that is, you can get sellers. A lot of people are getting sellers with their Bandit signs, but you can get buyers with Bandit signs. You can get other wholesalers with Bandit signs. You can do co-wholesale deals with other wholesalers, okay? There's a lot of different things you can do with Bandit signs. So get creative in your marketing. Get different phone numbers so you can track your KPIs, and go out there and use Bandit signs on a regular basis until you actually build the different areas of your business that you're looking to build. So Bandit signs are extremely effective in the right markets, in the right cities, and the right towns. Do your own due diligence, and take everything I said, like I said, with a grain of salt. But if you go back, watch this video, there's a lot of really good tips and tricks in this video that I think are going to really help you kill your Bandit sign marketing. Bandit signs are something that I've used and I've gotten a lot of deals from Bandit Signs. Guys, I've even put Bandit Signs in people's front yards of vacant properties, right? When I'm driving for dollars. So I'll go put a Bandit sign aiming towards the front door, like behind a pillar or something. So the next time that somebody goes to check the mail or, check the newspaper or go, clean the pool or whatever, a vacant property, they walk back out that front door and the Bandit sign says, hey, I want to buy your house, or whatever the case is. So get super creative and stop underestimating the power of some of this stuff. Some of the best wholesalers that you see in the market today are the most creative wholesalers, and that's why they're doing all the business and not you. So get super creative in all forms of your marketing and go out there and absolutely kill it. I hope you enjoyed this video. In the very near future, I'm going to make a lot more videos like this, real estate related, right? Traditional real estate related as a real estate agent, how to sell $100,000 houses to $15 million houses, build massive real estate team, which I'm actually doing right now, build massive wholesaling teams, do wholesaling, in your state, do wholesaling virtually, basically anywhere in the world that you want to do it. And then also car videos, guys. You guys like Lamborghinis? I'm trying to do more Lamborghini videos, more lifestyle videos. Whatever it is that you want to see, please drop in the comments section down below what it is that you want to see in the next video. It really helps me out. I get to help you out. I don't do this for me. I do this for you. So if you're watching this, that really means a lot to me if you do that. Share it with your friends, etc., etc. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you haven't already, and smash that heart button. And we'll see you guys in the next video.